Hello, welcome to my channel. Today we're looking at something different. We're going to look at some missing persons, but I wanted to look at this. It's the murders of Jay Cook and Tanya Van, I don't know how to pronounce that, forgive me, Cuylenborg, could be wrong. They were a Canadian couple from British Columbia who were murdered, and you can pause this and read it. I'm going to skim through it. They were on a trip to Seattle, Washington, November 1987. They had met in high school. They'd been in a relationship for about 6 months. They left in Cook's father's bronze 1977 Ford Club van for an overnight trip to the Seattle area to purchase parts for Cook's father's business. So they took the ferry from Victoria to Port Angeles, Washington. Then they drove southeast on Route 101 to Bremerton, where they boarded a second ferry to Seattle. A fuel receipt later found in the van confirmed that they purchased fuel on the road between Port Angeles and Bremerton. And I don't know if I've read this before. I feel like deja vu. You know how you get that deja vu? Did I do a video about this already? Maybe I did. I might want to check, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. The pair was last seen boarding the ferry in Bremerton. Cook's and Van Cuylenborg's families became concerned when the couple didn't come home as they planned, and they didn't make any sort of contact, so they were reported missing. So then her body was found in a ditch. I don't want to read all through it. It's very upsetting to me. By a rural road in Skagit County, Washington, a short distance south of Bellingham. So, and initially they thought that maybe her boyfriend had done it, though the family said no. So then they found her wallet, her keys near a Greyhound station in Bellingham. The van was found a few blocks away. Inside the van were plastic ties of the same type that was used to bind Tanya, and they had plastic gloves and various receipts, including the Bremerton-Seattle ferry ticket, confirming that the couple had taken the second ferry. Her camera was missing, which she brought on the trip, and then they found her boyfriend's body about 60 miles from where her body was found 2 days later, and he had been killed. So, and then somewhere else I read they found some IDs and stuff at a bar under a porch. But the police believe the killer was taunting them, leaving the plastic gloves in plain view. So the police were able to obtain the suspect's DNA from the van, but there was no match in any criminal databases. So the lack of the match, so they believed he had a prison background. And you can pause this and read it all. I'm just skimming through it. So they believe the couple might have met their killer on one of the ferries, most likely the second one, and offered him a ride upon reaching Seattle. In the months after the murders, both families received, okay, then it talks about they got the greeting cards, but the greeting cards didn't end up being from the killer. It ended up being from somebody else. So, and then they had a composite sketch of the suspect that they released using the semen from the trousers that they found. They were able to create a composite sketch. The case was also investigated by other places. And so on May 18, 2018, they announced that William Earl Talbott II was arrested for that. He was found guilty because there were witnesses. His roommate witnessed the van being there, and they had these witnesses and witnessed the blanket and things like that. So it says on December 7th, 2021, an appellate court overturned the conviction, citing juror bias. Then it says on December 23rd, 2022, the Supreme Court reinstated the guilty verdict as the defense did not dismiss the juror. Talbot remains in custody awaiting further appeals. Okay. All right. So then I'm thinking, here he is in this area by this ferry, and we have other people that I've read about the missing cases and wondering why their vehicles ended up in those places. So these people, this couple, it was 1987, November 18th, 1987. So this is 1986, and I believe that they said that William Talbot resided near there with his parents or something. I'm not sure where he lived when he had his roommate, but I want to make sure I got his name right. Hold on. I don't know why that doesn't work. William Earl Talbot. Okay. And I think he lived near there. So let's look at some missing persons. We have this one. It's Michael Frank Fullerton. He went missing 9/27/1986. Okay. This was the year before them, right? From Seattle, Washington. Okay, and I'm on the Charlie Project. Hopefully it has the information I need. So there were reported sightings of him in West Seattle, Kent, and Burien, but these accounts have not been confirmed. He's never been heard from again. 10 days after he disappeared, his silver and black Chevy Monte Carlo with Washington license plate was found abandoned on Capitol Hill. There was no sign of him at the scene. His loved ones believe he may be deceased. So this was near the ferry, as far as from what I understand. I could pull it up, I guess, and show you, but. And then we also have Ralph Allen Newcombe. This was 1989. So this is 2 years after. Okay, Seattle, Washington. He had a pickup truck, and you can pause this and read it. He moved from Kodiak, Alaska to Seattle, Washington. I'm not sure about him, but I'm going to leave him in there. He had worked as a carpenter in Alaska, building and remodeling houses. He was trying to set up a business in Seattle. Well, where's his vehicle? He got licensed there. He was last seen at his Seattle home by his wife. She left for work. By the time she got home, he was gone. He's never been heard from again. His pickup truck was found parked across the street from the Alaska Ferry terminal the next morning. His carpenter tools, wallet, and is that in Seattle? The Alaska Ferry terminal? I'm not sure. But I'm leaving it in there because I thought, wow, this is strange. Right? Because the ferry terminals, they go back and forth, right? I think they do. But I'm leaving them in there. Here's Boyd Leroy Colegrove, Aberdeen, Washington, 1998, December 31st. He planned to take a vacation to Canada with his daughter prior to his December 31st, 1998 disappearance from Aberdeen, Washington. He never arrived at their scheduled meeting places. He's never been heard from again. So I'm putting him in there too, because I'm wondering if that man that killed that couple, if he killed other people as well before he got caught. And then we have this young man, and he went missing from Bremerton, Washington, 1998. And let's see what it says about him. Like I said, you can pause it and read it if you want. He was an apprentice fireman. In 1998, which was home ported in Bremerton, Washington. He was last seen on a ferry ride from Seattle, Washington to Bremerton when he disappeared April 18, 1998 between 4 o'clock and 5:15 a.m. A ferry crew member told authorities that an individual matching his description was seen on a return trip to Seattle later in the morning, but it's not known if the man was indeed him. So he went missing. So I am wondering if that man was a serial killer. I mean, really, is he going to kill one person or two people and then just stop and never kill again? So I'm wondering if he killed other people as well. Then we have Michael Douglas Wilk, Seattle, Washington. So these are just people that I suspect that he... Because I keep looking at these people's names, you know, and I put them all in a video together because I noticed them when I was going through that state, you know, doing the different John Does and missing people. I was like, wow, why are these people's vehicles found in these areas, right? Oh, I should go slowly in case you want to pause it and read it, because I don't want to read it all. Okay. So here he was, last seen Seattle, January 6, 2001. He had an argument with his wife. He left the residence without any money or credit cards and never returned. And he left his home in Renton, Washington, driving his green 1987 Acura Integra with a Washington's license plate number 06356 on the Seattle Mariners plate. Images of the vehicle and license plate are posted with a case summary. His vehicle was found abandoned in Seattle March 1, 2001. The vehicle was parked on Alaskan Way across from the United States Coast Guard station near Atlantic Street. The location is several blocks from Safeco Field and nearby both the train station and a ferry terminal. The car had been parked at the location so long its brakes were rusty. There was no sign of him at the scene, and he's never been seen or heard from again. So, I really, to me, I'm looking at these, and I keep these in my mind after a while. You know, you can't. You read these, and it's a little bit horrific, so they'll stick with you a little bit. So then you remember, oh, this one went missing here. Oh, that vehicle was found abandoned near there, and that vehicle was found abandoned near there, or in that same kind of, you know, or they were taking similar routes at the time. So then when I read this, and I can't remember if I did a video about this already, but it just seems like a deja vu, so I'll have to check. But, so here we have Tanya Cuylenborg and Jay Cook, and the perpetrator was William Earl Talbott II. So I can't help but wonder if he met them there, if he didn't meet anybody else there, and if that's why they're not missing. I mean, maybe I'm grasping at straws, maybe I'm reaching, but I'm wondering if any of these other people had connections with him at all. Just my, you know, and feel free to leave comments, because it could be a different killer, you know, because you remember Moab, Utah, they had different people that were killed, and you're thinking, oh, it's the same time frame, and there was a man that died, there was those two girls, and then there was the other girl, and it was all different people, right? So it could be different people, but I can't, you know, I'm throwing it out there anyway. This is just speculation. We'll just call it speculation. I'm just speculating at the possibility. So I wanted to create a video while I had it in my mind. So it's, you know, it doesn't mean it happened that way. It just means it's pure speculation. You know, and it could be totally different circumstances that happen. But I just wanted to throw that out there. Don't forget to pray for their loved ones and their family. Please feel free to leave comments, and have a blessed day. Bye-bye.